Hello friends, welcome to Tech Cyber Channel. This channel is dedicated to teaching and learning cybersecurity concepts and tools. Also, I seek to create cybersecurity awareness using my channel and also to advise the best ways we can stay secure on the internet in the times where cybercrime is becoming prevalent. Now, I want you to subscribe to my channel for me and also click on the like button and then the notification button so that anytime I release a new video, you'll be notified. In today's video, I'll be talking about NMAP. NMAP in short for network mapping. And also we'll perform some of the activities we can use NMAP for. NMAP undoubtedly is one of the most important tools in the cybersecurity industry. Now, what is NMAP? Basically, NMAP it's a network scanning tool, right? It's like network mapping. That's the full meaning, network mapping. It's a network scanning tool that provides a series of services. Like Nmap can be used to perform so many activities. Um, Host detection, for port scanning, for vulnerability assessment. We can also use Nmap to identify the services running on a particular operating system and even the version of those services. Right. So without wasting much time, I'm gonna dive straight into some of the functions Nmap is used for. Now to start with, I'm gonna explain how we can use Nmap to perform a ping scan. Now when we say a ping scan, as we already know, ping is just a way of sending ICMP packets to a particular host just to be sure the host is alive, right? So when we send the ICMP packet to the host and then the host provides us with a response, a reply, then we know the host is alive. Now we know mostly we use this command ping, to create an to do that to verify whether the host is alive or not. But Nmap can also be used for that. Now, to start with, before we can perform any Nmap, the command should start with what? Nmap, right? Nmap. Now, how do we perform ping scan using Nmap? So we do Nmap minus SN. Now, before that, we can, to know the various commands in Nmap, we do Nmap minus h, right? So that's gonna show us the various available parameters we can use in Nmap to perform various scans. For example, SN is for what? For a ping scan. We have PN, it says you treat all hosts as online. So we have, so these are the scan techniques. So we have UDP scan, we have TCP scan. So we'll perform majority of these actions, right? So let me go back to what we were doing first. So to perform ping scan, so it's nmap minus sn. Now before that, aside Kali, I have two virtual machines on. I have Metasploitable 2 and then I have Metasploitable 3 machines on, right? So 10.0.2.0/24. So I want to perform a ping scan on the subnet or the block IP block for 10.0.2, right? So all the available hosts within that subnet uh should provide a response to us. Now enter. So let's wait to see what happens. Great. So when we did the scan, we could see it says these are the various hosts we saw. So 10.0.2.1, 2.7, 2.8, 2.10. So it means these are the available hosts, right, on the network. Now, it says 10.0.2.1 is up. So it means that host is alive for us to perform any kind of activity we want to perform on it. So 2.7 is also up, 2.8 is up, and then 2.10 is up. So this is how we perform ping scan using NMAP. So it's NMAP dash SN. So that's the parameter that shows we want to perform a ping scan. And then we specify the IP address, as simple as ABC. Now, the next thing we want to perform is a SYN scan. Now, we all know in TCP connection, the three handshake uh, connection, right? Client between a client and the server, a client will first send a SYN, right? That's a synchronization request to a server. Now, when the server receives the SYN request, the server responds. That's if the server wants to approve and acknowledge the receipt of the um, SYN request, the server will respond by providing a SYN ACK. And then finally, to end the three-way handshake, the client will acknowledge, will send an ACK. Right now, if when we want to do a SYN scan on a particular host, the first thing is we have to. It needs root privileges, so we have to get into root. Like, so I'll just run sudo minus s. Right. Yeah. So Kali. Right. So now we are in a root privilege, so we're gonna have all the root privileges. Now, what are we gonna do right now? So we want to try to perform a SYN scan. So as always, nmap is the command. Now to perform nmap minus s capital S. So this shows we want to perform a SYN scan, right? Minus n, and then let's specify 10.0.2. So let's pick one of the hosts. Let's say .8, right? Now we want to scan the top 40, the top 40 ports. So dash dash top dash ports dash 40. All right. So we just scanned the top 40. We performed what? A SYN scan. We know, like I already explained, SYN is part of this TCP, Yeah, so that's why we can see TCP here. So all these ports we did, we performed a SYN scan on the top 40 ports in this particular host. So this is how we can perform a SYN scan using NMAP. So it's actually really easy to perform or practice with NMAP. Now the next thing is we want to perform a SYN scan on a specific port. So initially I did the SYN scan on the top 40 ports, but this time I want to do the SYN scan on just one port. So nmap, so minus ss, that's parameter shows we want to perform a SYN scan. So minus ss and then dash n, then the host, so 10.0.2.8, right? And then minus p. So minus p shows the ports, right? So the port is, let's say we want to scan this port 445, right? So 445, enter. Great. So we have, that's it. So we've just performed the SYN scan on this specific port. That is port 445. And you see it has given us some information about that particular port. So nmap undoubtedly is really important. Majority of people are saying nmap is old, but my professor will always tell you nmap seem old, but it's still useful, right? So undoubtedly as we can see, it can really right. Um, so the next thing we want to tackle is to to learn how to perform both UDP and then TCP scans using NMAP. So UDP and TCP, they are all protocols that are found in the transport layer in the OSI or TCP IP, layers in networking. Yeah. So sorry, how to perform a UDP and then a TCP scan. So Nmap dash SS. So dash SS provides or that specifies the SYN scan, right? The SYN scan. And then we have dash SU. Now dash SU shows we also want to perform a UDP scan, right? Now dash N states or it tells the Nmap command that we don't want to have any domain name resolution, right? So then the next thing we want to provide is the IP address of the host we want to perform the UDP and then the TCP scan on. So that's 10.0. That's the IP address for my Metasploitable 3. So it could be different from yours, right? So 0.2.8. Now the next thing is I want to provide some ports. Now there is a way to also specify TCP ports and the UDP ports. Now to specify TCP ports, you can do dash PT. And then what are some of the TCP ports? We have 22, we have 443, right? Okay, now to specify UDP ports, we have few and the column we have 53, we have 120 to 130. So you can see what I've done here. So here I've provided a range. So it's gonna scan the port from 120 to 130. Also, it's gonna provide port 53 for us. It's gonna perform a scan on 443 and then 22. So I'll hit enter and let's wait for the response. Awesome. So we have the output. Now let's analyze it. So we provided 22 and 443 for the TCP scan. And let's look here. So we have 22 for SSH service and it has the what? The TCP. 443 has TCP, right? And now UDP we provided 53. Now you can see here 53 is UDP, right? We have 120 to 130. So that was a range we specified. And we can see 120, 21 up to what? 130. So that is a beautiful way we can use Nmap to perform both UDP and then TCP scan on a host. So Nmap is really powerful. Nmap is really powerful. Now, we also want to just perform a TCP scan, just a TCP scan. Now, to do that, we do Nmap dash st, right? Dash st, and then we have dash n dash pn. So 10.0.2.8. Then we want to scan the top 10 ports. So we want to scan the top 10 ports. Enter. Right. So with this, we perform, this actually specifies the TCP scan, right? So the ST specifies the TCP scan. So as you can see, we have TCP, only TCP and no UDP because this is specifically TCP scan. That's what that's the command we provided to the Nmap tool. And we scan the first 10, I won't say the first, like the top 10 ports in the TCP scan on that particular host. That is 10.0.2.8, right? So this is how we can perform a TCP scan using Nmap on a host. Right. Now, the next thing we also want to do is sometimes, for example, when we perform these scans, it gives us the service, right? But it would be nice to have the version of those various services, especially those details are really important when you're performing uh, port scanning, which is supposed to precede ethical hacking, like penetration testing. So if you want to break into a system, it's really important to get certain details like the version of the service running on a specific port in that host. Right. Now, Nmap is a powerful tool, like I said earlier. So Nmap can help us to get that particular information, to get the various versions. So the command, let me clear this out. So the command is Nmap as usual. So I'm gonna do UDP, right? A UDP scan, and then I'll provide the various versions in the services. So UDP we know is SU, right? We don't want any domain resolution. We have PN, then the host 10.0.2.8. That's the IP address of the host. And then we want to scan the top 10 ports. So top ports and 10. Now we want to add this command or this parameter dash sv. So this shows we don't just want to have the port, but we also want to have the version of that port, right? So now let's type enter. This is gonna take some time, yeah, a couple of minutes or seconds, sorry, because this is different from just providing the services. It has to go through another, processes in getting the various version. We're still waiting. Yeah, like I told you, it's gonna take some time, so let's continue to wait. So, if you want to break into cybersecurity, it's actually really important to learn tools like Nmap because Nmap undoubtedly is really useful and it comes in handy. It can be used to perform so many tasks, right? So it's really important to gain knowledge in Nmap. Great. So, let's see. We have an output here now. Aside the version, we also have um a new so let's see 53 port 53. That's a UDP scan. That's what we did. No, that's what we specified here. And then we can see it give us the version, right? ISC band 942, right? I'm surprised I just got the version for these two, but anyways, this is the command. You whenever you want to specify the version, this is the command you can provide. So I think that will be all for what I want to cover. So I hope you've learned a lot with Nmap. Like I said earlier, to know the available parameters in Nmap for you to use, um you can just do Nmap Nmap minus dash s, right? Sorry, dash h, and that's gonna give you the various options you have for you to perform any scan you want to perform. So thank you very much for watching the video, and I hope you learned a lot. Kindly do subscribe to my channel and also click the like button, like the video, and then share the channel to anybody who wishes to break into cybersecurity. Together, let's make the world a better place. Thank you very much, and uh, see you next time. And also, before I go, I want to specify or I want to state that whatever I teach here or practice here is for educational purposes and it has nothing else. Thank you very much and see you next time. Be safe. Bye.